They're wanting, my thoughts are not organized. My house is not organized. Look at all that laundry. And I had a Gatorade with a liquid IV in it. So I'm a little bit like, tonight, but it's gonna be fun. Let's go. Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of 5 Frugal Things, where I talk about recent money choices that I've made that I qualify as either wins or losses in an attempt to be transparent with you, help you learn from my mistakes, help me be accountable to my own mistakes, and also to celebrate the recent money wins that I've had. Let's get into it. The frugal win number 1 is that I saved so many thousands of dollars by arguing my property taxes on both of my properties. Now, this is something that in the past would have been considered a massive fail because the first 2 years that I owned my first duplex, I didn't fight the property taxes. I was kind of like, I'm busy. I don't really know what that is. I didn't even file a homestead exemption. I was kind of like, I just didn't have mental capacity for it. And during those years, the value of that first property that I bought went from $230,000 to like $280,000. And by the time I got around to contesting it, you can't like backslide it at all. So I was able to keep it from getting up to $300 until this year. But Texas has one of the highest percentage rate on property taxes. So if you're not fighting those, if you own property in Texas, and they just willy-nilly just bloat it. Yes, real estate has increased in value so much since the pandemic, but here specifically, they'll just be like, oh, you just bought this property for $260,000. Oh, now it's worth $350,000, like this place. That's what they tried to tell me this year. And if you don't fight it, if you don't actually go to court and contest it, then you just have to pay on that amount moving forward, which is insane. It can bloat your monthly payment so much, like hundreds of dollars I've wasted year over year, having not done this prior to 2 years ago. So yeah, I missed out on the first 2 years. My first property, my first duplex, like bloated. Now I've been able to keep it down. It was at like $280,000, the valuation. This year they wanted it to go up to $350,000, and I was able to keep it at $300,000. I did this by getting realtors to give me comps if I wanted to sell it. I pulled every, police call that went into that neighborhood. I showed photos of blah, 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 blah. I came in with like stack of evidence, and it's like a panel of just kind of random people that assess the property. Generally, they're older people that are being paid for the day. They don't actually work for the city or the state, but they'll usually kind of come down off what it's been assessed as a little bit, but depending on your evidence is depending how far it'll go. So I always try to go with whatever it was last year and like plus $2. That's it. That's how far I think it's been upgraded. I will use anything short of lying to try to prove that it hasn't increased in value, because I'm not trying to sell these properties. I'm trying to not pay more for them to the government than I have to. So I did. I went and fought for both my properties. The first one, my old duplex, I was able to keep at $300,000 instead of the $350,000 they wanted. This place, they also tried to say it was $350,000, and I got it down to I think about $270,000, and I paid $260,000 2 years ago. So they did notice and came by when I was doing renovations on this place last year. They even came inside, which they aren't technically supposed to do, but apparently my contractor let them in, not mad at him, and so they were trying to use that to increase the value that I bought them tooth and nail on it. And frankly, I am good at arguing, and they generally want to get me out of that room. So many thousands saved. It was annoying 2 mornings. I wish I could have got them out of the way at the same time, but do it. Fight your property taxes, file your homestead exemption. It's one of those awful things that is so annoying and so frustrating, but I know I'm saving so much money year over year doing that. So big win. Next, I bought my wedding dress, and I got it off of Poshmark for $250. It's actually the exact Azazi dress that I liked and I did a home try on with. I actually have that video out now if you want to go look at it and watch my little wedding dress buying journey. But I found the exact dress that I wanted online from another bride who didn't end up wearing it. She bought it, and then she found another dress. And so I got the dress new with tags for less than half price of what it would have cost, and it makes it so much sweeter. Let me tell you, I'm so excited about it. Okay, the next thing is also house related. I needed a new roof on my old duplex. Some really bad storms came through, tore up the roof a little bit. There was an emergency leak I had to get repaired, so of course I sent the insurance out to do it. They said, total loss, gotta get a whole new one. We will pay you $6,000 for it, but we know it's gonna cost like $9,000 plus because I just had a new roof done like 2.5 years ago, hailstorm. Once again, this was just like natural disaster. Hailstorms came through, tore up the roof. Nothing can really be done about it. I didn't shop around for a roofer. I used the same roofer that came out and did the emergency repair that was just available on a weekend that I just like Googled, didn't even get a reference, and I probably could have gotten the roof cheaper. Now, he wasn't bad. He did a good job. He was even able to get me some money back from the insurance at the end. I did end up paying about $6,000 out of pocket for a few months, and then with some refunds he was able to get, minus all his fees and everything, I ended up paying about $2,500, $3,000 for the roof, which is not bad. But last time I got a roof, I basically paid nothing. So I didn't get comps. I don't regret using him, but I should have done my due diligence instead of just being lazy and being like, I already have a roofer, let's just get this guy. I probably could have saved a couple of grand there, but it's a good roof, it's good, it's done. I'm moving on. Next, also a fail, I got 2 parking tickets on campus. I've been at A&M for 9 years. At this point, almost 9 years, and parking is by seniority. But now I work in the admin building, which is where like the president, the provost, all of the most important people at the university work. And so we're all competing for the same parking spots. And I don't have seniority over a lot of people in my building. So despite all the years of service, so I have to park really far away, like half a mile plus. I do have a little scooter in really bad weather, or if I'm running late. Sometimes I like to park in the business parking spots. And I did this all summer. I got ticketed twice, $30 a ticket. The tickets have gone up, I heard, because one of my coworkers got a ticket for $50. But frankly, $60 to park closer all summer, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little worth it. I'm not gonna keep pushing my luck, especially if tickets are $50 now. But that was a slight frugal fail, but I don't regret it. I just don't. Okay. I'm like 2 people away from a reserve spot that would be more expensive, but God, it would be so worth it. It sucks so bad some days going in, I swear. And the students have to park like 6 miles away. It's awful. I don't know how they do it. Texas A&M is one of the biggest campuses like in the nation. It's bananas and the parking is awful. Next, let's move on to a frugal win real quick. Audible, the audiobook company, sent me an offer for 3 months free. So essentially like 3 credits, 3 books, 3 months. Of course they do it where it sets, you have to put in your card, set it up to like auto renew. You'll get charged if you leave it on for 4 months, but I didn't. I write that in my calendar, and I got to listen to all of their audiobook catalogs, plus like purchase 3 books for free over the last 3 months. It was fantastic. I made sure to cancel by the deadline. I still have the books that I got, and I've kind of gotten back into audiobooks. And to fuel that continuing habit, I've been using Libby, which of course attaches to your library card. And I have a Houston, Texas library card because the Bryan College Station, Texas library just doesn't have a lot of stuff. But you can get a library card for anywhere in your state, in most states, as long as you have an address in that state. So last time, a few years back, we went to Houston, got a library card there. I use their audiobook and ebook catalog all the time. It's fantastic. I've been listening to a ton of audiobooks. Some have been great, some have been awful, but both ways I've been enjoying it. Especially scooting back and forth or walking to my parking really far away. It makes the walk go a little faster. Similarly, Jacob bought me a new Kindle. So the matcha green, I know nobody needs more than 1 Kindle, but a matcha green Kindle came out and I sent it to Jacob and I was like, oh, look how cute. And he bought it for me for a gift. But when he signed up for it, he didn't get the 3 months Kindle Unlimited subscription freebie that comes with it. I use Kindle Unlimited. I have for years. It's like $12 a month. But if you buy Kindle, it comes with 3 months free. So I messaged them after registering it and I was like, hey, can I get this still? He didn't sign up for it. And they were like, no, but if you message us in 3 months, we'll essentially give you a gift card for 3 months worth of Kindle Unlimited. And I was like, you bet your bottom dollar I'm gonna do that. So I put it in my little calendar and I messaged them in 3 months and they gave me almost $40 back from Kindle Unlimited for those 3 things. So I essentially got 3 months for free, or / have a gift card for that. I used the gift card. I used it on a really delicious pack of beef jerky, like the sheet beef jerky. It's so good. Used to be able to buy it in gas stations. I am on a tangent tonight. Once again, need to clean the house. The brain is disorganized. The house is disorganized. Next up, another frugal win. I got 3 new boxes for Little Free Libraries. Just a girl and her weird hobby. You may have seen it on Instagram, but I found a box at a gas station. I track these all the time. Like anytime we're driving around, I'm like, any abandoned old newspaper or distribution boxes? And I've kept up with some of these. So there's a company called the Thrifty Nickel. They used to have those little pamphlets that had like little jokes and ads and stuff. They'd be at little restaurants, like family restaurants, gas stations, stuff like that. So we had a chapter chapter of that here, but apparently they closed last December. So I'd had my eye on 2 thrifty nickel boxes, one at one of their offices off of Texas Avenue and one in an old restaurant called The Kettle. And I'd noticed I hadn't seen anything inside these boxes for a really long time. Anytime I drove by, I went onto my local women's business Facebook group and I was like, hey, anybody know if this company is still in business? A friend of a friend was like, oh, hey, I know the owner of that. I explained my situation. She got me in contact with the older owner. And they were like, unfortunately, we closed in December, but you are more than welcome to take the boxes and turn them into little free libraries. And I would love to see what you turn them into. So I have 2 from there and 1 from a gas station that I got the permission of the owner from. So I am swimming in potential little free library boxes. One, I am going to make into a giant cheeseburger, like a big stacked cheeseburger. I'll show you the vision on screen here. I'm very excited about doing that, but I'm not doing it until I check some things off of like my personal list. I'm going to use it as a reward. I did also message the owner of a local restaurant and was like, hey, I do this weird thing where I make these little free library boxes. How do you feel about a giant cheeseburger? And he's like, yes, please. So the giant cheeseburger little free library, while it doesn't exist yet, has an eventual home, and that is motivating me to make it. So hopefully this fall/winter, I'll be able to have some time, get my hands dirty, make it into a giant cheeseburger. I'm incredibly excited about this one. If you don't know anything about what I'm talking about, I have some videos on little free libraries and how much I love doing them. I will link them below. They're really fun. I love reading, as you could probably see from the Audible and the Kindle thing. And I enjoy giving back to my community, bringing books to people. It's really rewarding and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, those are coming. Jacob's real sick, a little free library. He's sick of looking at him. I might have to move him like around to the back of the house. So he's supportive though. He would help me haul them home and has many times before. Next, I attended a free community posing workshop held by a local photographer at a local art gallery. This was just something that I saw pop up on Facebook, and it was essentially like this photographer is going to teach you how to pose for the camera and how to shoot people and pose them for the camera. Photographer Beth Simmons. She's really cool. I think she's awesome. We have some mutual friends. I volunteered a couple of times to be like one of the people being posed, and it was just a really fun free community event. I do feel like, and I never knew how to do this before, how to do like the look over the shoulder. I've always felt like this really truncates me. Apparently you're supposed to kind of open yourself up a little and lean back. Okay, I have my list here that I keep on my desk and I write things down whenever I feel like it. All right, I went in for an oil change at a Take 5. Yeah, Take 5 oil change. Jacob found a coupon online for like $25 off a basic oil change, brought my car in. Normally it's like $80, and so with the 25, it actually makes it a more reasonable, like 50 oil change. Remember when you could get an oil change for like 20 bucks? Anyway, they told me that my coolant was really, really low and that I needed to spend $180 for them to do a full coolant flush, change it out, everything like that. I asked if they could just top it off. They said no, because they don't know what's in there. They don't want any like thing to mess with it. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. They also tried to tell me that the filter that I had just gotten changed at the shop also needed to be changed. I know it's probably like a list of things like low-hanging fruit that they can get you to upcharge on, and he's just doing their job, but the filter was like 2 weeks old. 2 weeks old, and they're trying to tell me like this needs to be changed. It doesn't. I know it doesn't. You know it doesn't. Like we're looking at each other and I'm doing this and he's just like, yeah, okay. What about this filter? And I'm like, no, you're not okay. I'm not gonna let you upcharge me. I would rather waste my time to go check it somewhere else than to just let you upcharge me willy-nilly. Now, the guy did say, ma'am, your coolant really is low. At least when you leave, like go get some coolant, top it off yourself. And I was like, cool, bet. Went to AutoZone, bought some coolant, poured it myself. The guy at AutoZone also said it was very low, but like it was so low it didn't actually need to be flushed. It just needed more coolant. So instead of $180, I spent $20 on coolant. Some of you guys that are car people are gonna be like, Sarah, you're really walking like a dangerous line here. No, a bullshitter. And then finally, I spent $750 on car work. This was like 3 weeks ago and I can't remember what was wrong with it. Oh, right. If I'm remembering correctly, and unfortunately this stuff just like in one side of my brain, out the other. Once it's handled, it's gone. It was making a noise. We brought it in and they were like, we can't replicate the issue. Took it home. A few days later, it's making the noise again. I tried to make an appointment to go in, nothing. Then it overheats. Finally, yeah, I have to get it freaking towed, which is $100 in because I couldn't find it before. I guess I get it, but no, I really don't. They will finally figure out what it is. They switched the things, $750, but I'm not calling it a fail, though they definitely should have done like an oil change while I was there and a coolant flush or replace the coolant if needed. Supposedly they checked all of the things and they did run the battery down. And when I went to pick up the car, the guy goes to like get the car and turn around. He's like, oh, it won't power on. And so then I had to get a new battery. which they basically ended up giving me for free because like when they tested it that morning, it like wasn't good and they didn't tell me. They wasted my time. I had to like come back. Anyway, $750 on car maintenance, but a paid off car is always a bigger win than a car payment, which is what I'm telling myself. I'm not mad. I have a sinking fund for car stuff. I haven't had to put much money into this car. It's 2016, so it's not even 10 years old yet, but I do bring it in for regular maintenance, oil changes, blah, blah, blah. I just don't like it when car people try to take advantage. And you know some of them are. I need a new car shop because I think the one that we just went to recently was a little shady. I know a good one, Christian Brothers, but they're way on the other side of town. Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for listening, for watching this, once again, fairly unhinged Sarah rants at nighttime while Jacob's in class vlog video, recent frugal wins and fails. I would love to hear what recent money wins and fails that you've had, what you've learned from. If you have any car advice, I'm not going to understand you if we're just being real honest here, but I appreciate you trying. By the way, I'm going to be at FinCon next week, so this week as you're seeing this. So if you're in the Portland area and you want to say hi, or if you're going to be at FinCon, I would love to say hi. I will see you guys next time. I had a Gatorade and a liquid IV, and it makes me feel like I go really fast, which is, I'm going to turn that on to the laundry in a second. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I will see you next time. Don't forget to tell me about your recent money wins and fails, and subscribe if you'd like to help me to get to 100,000 subscribers here on YouTube. Get that little play button that I'm going to put right there. Right there. It'll be real cute. And I will see you in the next one. All right. Bye. Love y'all.